In the wrestling world, the people are represented by two separate but unequally important groups. The wrestlers and bookers, who literally do all the hard work, and the fans, who endlessly nitpick and overanalyze everything they do. These are their stories.
Hey! It's Warhorse, and you need to shut your mouth, open your eyes, and clean out your ears, because it's time to listen to the Raw and Order podcast. That's right, they're bringing you the best in all that meaty podcasty goodness in one, what is it, an hour? Two? Who cares? Who gives a shit? You need to listen to it right now, or else Warhorse is gonna, roll your ass!
Welcome to another episode of Raw and Order, the wrestling booking unit, the only wrestling podcast on the planet that, just about this thing. I am your host, Detective Mark Smarks, and I'm joined, as always, by my partners in crime fighting. Starting off, District Attorney Vincent Kayfabe. What's going on, man? How are you?
Do you suppose the ass rolling will be pleasant?
I don't imagine
For those
with
who aren't
Warhorse. Your ass ruling is probably not going to be pleasant. Probably not. Also
That's
joining us from up north, RCMP JLB. What's going on, man?
Hey, it goes, good sir. Can't complain. That's because no one will listen. But good. It's Sunday. It's fun day. It's good. Can't complain. A lot of wrestling this week. And I'm ready to talk about it.
Yeah, a lot of stuff to talk about. Some big things to talk about. First things first, I want to point out that this little message right down here, right? Subscribe for 2 months in a row. It's because he is a Prime subscriber going through Amazon Prime Gaming, so he had to make sure to click do it again this month. So if you're through Amazon Prime and subscribing to us, make sure to go click that little button, subscribe again, right? Otherwise, if you're just month to month, make sure to renew, whatever, however you do it there. But the Amazon Prime ones definitely have to renew month to month, and it's free. Throws a little support our ways. Doesn't cost you a dime extra. Great way to support us, but. Anywho's, welcome to Raw and Order. I am excited to talk about stuff. I imagine one of the big things we will talk about is one Wyndham Rotunda and his fantastic promo on SmackDown, which took the character in a little bit, a little bit different direction than I thought they were going. Not super different. But a little different. And we'll get to that in a little bit. Jesus, I suddenly have a big old frog in my throat.
Really?
Yeah.
Like the whole thing?
Whole thing, it's Kermit in there, man.
Kermit the Frog here.
Different meaning to the phrase deep throating, huh?
Oh,
Wow.
You're the one with the frog in your mouth. So whatever floats your boat, good sir.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
Well, here's the deal. I did not get a chance to watch SmackDown. Because I had a cancer benefit on Saturday and on Friday.
Let's see what we can do about that then.
Yeah, so I am going to give a live react after you guys get my hopes up.
Well, I mean, it was very different. I feel like you should just watch it and then we should talk about it. Because then I feel like getting your reaction to it. One, you don't know anything. So you're telling me you haven't read anything.
All I've seen is there was a fire promo. And then I had a very busy day today and yesterday.
Okay.
And Friday night I was prepping for those.
Fair enough. So, yeah, you should definitely give it a watch before we talk about it. Because it's definitely worth at least watching without knowing anything.
Okay.
Well, I was debating on risking the copyright strike gods. I'm just playing it. But
hold on. I don't think that's a good idea.
Yeah, that might not be a good idea, actually.
It might not, but I do a lot of bad ideas.
Oh my god. He's doing it, folks.
I may be doing it. I got to find the right one though.
Mm.
Let's highlight.
It is on YouTube.
It is, but I'm trying to find the right one because this one might be it.
YouTube. Are we gonna just put it on screen?
Yeah, probably. Once I get past this.
I feel like I'm gonna need a beverage for this. Hi, Ambrosia.
Hello.
Now you
Thank
can put
you,
the other one up
Elvis.
there, Smarks.
Okay.
There, I put it up.
Do.
Big JC, thanks for 2 months in a row.
2 months in a row as well. Look at that. It's 2-month day.
Mine is on the 18th.
2-month day. Month and 2 days.
I found one.
I got it. Jeez, chill your ass.
I don't know. Do you go to
Chill your ass.
Get it. Add it to stream. And
Hey, man,
Let's
when
up
you
this.
coming?
yeah. So to talk
really
about
emotional.
specifically, I'm certain that this is a worked shoot, to use the phrase. He is speaking as Bray Wyatt, as Wyndham Rotunda, but that the character Wyndham Rotunda is now a character in the Wyatt family tree, sort of thing.
In
the Wyatt Six
repertoire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that'll become clearer as this goes on. But he says at the beginning, this is me talking. This isn't, which is wrestling code for this is still a work. This is me trying to work you, but it's still I imagine that this was a very emotional thing, and he pulled back the curtain already there by saying I lost 2 people who were very important to me.
That's it. And also saying I love you to the crowd kind of thing. Like, you know what I mean?
I love you too. Yeah. All of that stuff. So a lot of breaking the illusion for a bit.
Fourth wall. Is that
Exposing the business a bit.
Ooh, that's 16 walls.
Yes. Fourth wall?
Fourth wall break instead of a fourth wall break? Ooh, that's 16 walls.
Ooh.
Okay. Let's go.
No idea what you're dealing with.
Yes.
But you will.
But you will. So yeah, here's the deal. That's that. Like I said, work shoot. It obviously was meant to feel like a shoot, like he's out there talking.
Right.
And I'm sure some of the things he said were based on reality. I'm sure he has had fans come up to him and say, your character helped me through a dark time in my life. Your character did this or whatever. And I'm sure he feels grateful for the fans that he has and how they've treated him over the years and everything. But at the same point, this is really just setting up this new character. Now, there's a lot of speculation going on online. In fact, I played into it myself on Fantasy Booking, which you can watch right now on YouTube or listen to on podcasts if you want to. I challenged you guys to the book The Wyatt Six. Who are the Wyatt Six? Who would you choose for them?
Are they the 6 personalities of Ray?
But that's the speculation, that it's going to end up being
like.
the 6 personalities of Bray. Now, that being said, I still think they need people to be those personalities, right? Like, Bray himself cannot be all 6 personalities.
Well, I mean,
at least not at any
they've flat out
given
named 5, just Wyndham Rotunda being the 6th.
Mm-hmm. But my point is that they can't have him physically embodying all 6 personas, because
just like
if they're
Yeah.
physically
The
feuding,
scenario.
he can't on video. Obviously,
he can on video, but eventually the Wyatt Six is going to have to appear in forums, and so I still think that there's going to be people behind the different Wyatt, and I think reports have it that his brother Bo Dallas is going to be returning soon, and I think most likely he's
The White
going
Rabbit.
to be one of them. Oh, by the way, the name of the mask that showed up there is reportedly Uncle Howdy. But they did also trademark the name Uncle Harper as well. So they may have trademarked it just as a homage to Luke Harper, aka Brody Lee. They may have trademarked it for other reasons. But that's out there. So I thought it was a brilliant promo that did really good at walking that line in between how much of this is real and how much of this is storyline, which some of the best promos are that, you know. But at the same point, it did that without having to be, for lack of a better term, a pipe bomb promo. Because,
Shoe fly, don't bother Fabe. Shoe fly,
fucking
don't
mosquito
bother
season.
Fabe.
It's indoor mosquito season. I don't know why it happens in my house, but Bray shows up and I get mosquitoes in my house.
Let me in.
Fucking terrifying. Let me in.
Imagine. Mosquito just outright just says that. You're like, what the fuck, bro?
there were a lot of people who were pulling up some people from NXT to be in the Wyatt Six, like Joe Gacy and Grayson Waller. The Joe Gacy one.
Oh, no, that's Joe Hendry. Sorry.
That's Joe Hendry. The thing with Joe Gacy is he's in the middle of a program in NXT. He's in the middle of doing something down in NXT. And under Vince, I could see them doing it. But under Triple H, I just don't see them pulling the rug out from a program in NXT just because they can on the main roster. You know what I mean? So unless we see that program in NXT wind down, I don't think Joe Gacy is going to be one of them. I think Grayson Waller was recently involved in one too, but I can't.
Yeah, they were mentioning Grayson Waller as one of them.
Uh-huh.
Of course, Dexter is one of them. I don't think Dexter's one of them.
I don't think Dexter. Here's the deal: I'm beginning to think it's probably not Karrion Kross either. I think the people who show up as part of it are all going to be people who either have been written out of programs recently or are new to the main roster, or at least new back to the main roster in the case like Bo Dallas. I don't think they're going to just take Karrion Kross or Dexter Lumis and say, oh, by the way, all this stuff that we've been doing the last couple months with them, that was just filler until they could
till
be in
this, till Bray.
Well, I mean, unless they tie it in to... Well, Dexter Lumis could still kind of work. He's not really in a program. He's in a program with Miz, but we still don't know why he did what he did and why he's doing what he's doing. So this could have been sent from Bray or something to try to get his Wyatt Six. You show that fly who's boss.
Mosquito.
You show that mosquito who's boss. You know what I mean? But I mean, for Karrion Kross, it's a bit hard. Granted, he's not doing anything at the moment, or I guess he's still in a program with Drew.
Yep, still in a program with Drew. The thing with Dexter Lumis is this style of Dexter Lumis does not fit the Wyatt mystique. This is psychopathic. This is serial killer. And the Wyatt mystique is cult. It's a different concept.
Okay.
And
different
so
type of,
that's why I don't think it's Dexter Lumis. But I think this is going to be their way of reintroducing or introducing some new characters. People who've been written off for one reason or another can be reintroduced with it, such as Sister Abigail or Abby the Witch, either way. Could be Nikki Cross, who's been written off based on her hating her superhero gimmick again or whatever. It could be a Liv Morgan now that she's extreme, although based on the events of SmackDown, I don't think it's Liv Morgan because she's not disappeared. You know what I mean?
Right.
She's still very much there. But I don't know. I really don't know who it is right now.
I feel like we're gonna get this tease for quite some time because obviously this promo happened at like 10:58.
Yeah, it was the last thing on the night.
Last thing on the night, and it was promoted right from the beginning. So great marketing and promoting.
Well, that's what they did at Extreme Rules.
Yeah, exactly.
Here's what it comes down to. Reports have it that the Wyatt Six in some way is being pitched as one of the Survivor Series matches, right? Potentially Wyatt Six versus Bloodline. And so they've got a month to build that up. But only a month, you know?
Right. Which is why I don't think that's going to happen. I don't see Wyatt doing anything with the Bloodline just yet so soon, unless it's a way to write Roman off to completely go do something else. I don't know.
I don't think that they're. I don't think they're going to go title here.
I don't think they're going to go title. I think they're going to go Bloodline. I think they're going to go, for lack of a better term, we're the cult here. You and your family can go away because we're the top dogs here. Ultimately,
rumor has it that Solo's the overthrow of Roman.
There was some hinting that potentially, but I think it's
Dwayne
definitely going to be Jay.
Oh, really? I think Dwayne is, but
no, I think it's going to be Jay. I think they've been hinting a lot about Jay not getting along and Jay being a hothead and all this stuff. That this is going to be to build Jay up, but I don't think he's going to. I don't think he's going to beat Roman and like take the title. I think he's going to cost Roman. You know what I mean? But that's another thing.
Maybe not interfere when he's supposed to.
Mm-hmm. Either not interfere when he's supposed to, or interfere to help someone else. Or in the case of like a Survivor Series match, basically just quit. You know what I mean? Like, it's down to 3-on-2, and he just deuces, leaving it 3-on-1 against Roman. You know, leaving Roman to the wolves.
Now you the one, Roman. You the one.
Mm-hmm. But no, they have teased a little bit, or I don't know if we can call it them teasing. Solo teased a little bit in an interview. He said that it had been like 20 years since he last talked to Roman prior to him getting called up to the main roster and being part of the Bloodline. Like, you know, Roman doesn't talk to me. I wasn't a friend of Roman's. He doesn't care about family, sort of a thing.
Okay, yeah, they could definitely go that route.
So they might be doing that. I don't know. It might be just kind of a slow fall apart of the Bloodline storyline that they do there. But here's the deal: is like I don't know in terms of storyline wise exactly why they do it, but I do know in terms of money wise, if you want to sell one of your tentpole pay-per-views of the year, having the newly returned hottest superstar you have go against the hot stable of the year, the Bloodline, is probably the way you want to do it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Also, who else on SmackDown do they have? to go against the Bloodline.
That they haven't just already buried.
So they haven't already had, them buried. Exactly.
Yeah.
By the way, I meant to mention this at the beginning. I got 2 more boxes. So we're going to be opening the box again today.
Nice.
Jeepers.
And then, I showed this to them before, but this was my newest purchase.
Ooh, yeah!
This is
Macho Man.
This is the first new WWE action figure I've bought in a long time.
That's because it was the Macho Man.
It was the Macho Man. The cream rises to the top. I do like. I will give WWE credit on these, especially these Ultimate Editions. Right. All you have to do is cut the tape in 3 spots, and it just opens.
Oh, nice. So that's kind of cool. You can at least
it more of a storage container.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
Whereas like the AEW stuff, I know DA Fable.
Yeah.
You basically have to tear it apart to get in there.
Yeah,
Bet that one costs a lot more money than a regular action figure, though. That box is probably what costs a little bit more.
It did cost a little more, but not really that much. It was like $30, whereas the AEW figures are $22.
Okay,
so
not bad for that box. It's kind of worth it because that's a nice little storage box, and you could kind of at least open it up and kind of maybe look at it closer or whatever.
I did almost buy not a Legends, not an Ultimate, but I think a Legend series today at Target, and I may go back. They had on clearance for $10 Stacy Keibler and an X-Pac. And I don't really care for X-Pac, but Stacy Keibler, I'm like, but
she's got legs. She knows how to use them.
Mm-hmm. They go all the way up.
As opposed to stopping halfway.
Exactly. So first off, which of these here 2 boxes am I opening today?
Left.
Yeah, to the left.
Okay, you're left.
That's it. I was like, oh, okay, just fuck our opinion then.
Nope. You said left, I chose my left.
That's fair.
That's why I said, okay, you're left. I'm gonna run.
Dum, 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 dum. He's opening the box. What's inside?
Wrestling cards.
Yeah, it's gonna be wrestling cards. Spoiler alert.
I meant the superstars, you smartass.
WWE.
What's in the box? Tell me what's in the box. What's in the box?
What's in the box? What's in there?
What 1 through 6? Come on, give me 2. Waiting for Ambrosia to say 21.
Let's go 4. Let's just switch it up. We always go 3. Let's hit it with a 4.
4. He says 4. I say 6.
4 and 6.
That's for your age, Smarks. 46.
Oh,
I'm not that old yet. I'll be 45 soon.
Savagery does not end, sir. It does not end.
46 is when we will finally get the Braun Pennies match, the video that you guys are supposed to do.
Oof.
It'll happen. Eventually.
Yeah, when you're 46.
People just have to keep subscribing to find out when.
Randy. I think this is a double. In fact, I think a lot of this pack is a double. Because I'm also fairly certain I've got Kofi Kingston.
Boom.
Kofi.
And I'm pretty sure
in the morning.
I've got Santos Escobar already.
Yeah, I feel like I've seen that one before.
But one I don't have is a silver version of Superstar Billy Graham.
Nice.
I don't think you have any version of Superstar Billy Graham.
I indeed do not.
But
definitely
he
not a
at
super.
least has a silver version.
Okay.
666.
Hello.
Hello, Hammy Ham. Welcome, good sir. Thank
That
you.
is not anybody named Ham. That's A-Car Pet Love.
No, I know, but it's
that sounds
real name
filthy.
is Hammy Ham. He's a pet lover. He loves pets. Little furries.
This is the pet love.
Arriba la raza.
That is the whitest Arriba la Raza I've ever heard.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm pretty white.
Okay, let me try it. Arriba la Raza.
That's the whitest. But he was trying to be white.
Cora Jade.
Oh.
That's a keeper.
Yeah, nice rookie card.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is a duplicate, but it's okay because I like Angel Garza. So,
Yep.
Also known as Edhel.
And my chase card for that
Edhel
pack
guards up.
is an orange of Montez Ford.
Nice.
It's in the middle of a shooting star press of some sort.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe a...
Yeah, no, it's kind of weird how you can't tell. Some of them are still kind of weird, though. Like, what a maneuver to actually showcase on a card.
But,
you know.
So anyways, other than Bray and his return, what else do we need to talk about this week? There's a lot of wrestling, but I'm trying to remember.
Well, I mean, I was kind of wondering what you guys think of the whole Garcia thing. With Garcia finally going JAS, or is he? Because once he did mess up, like once he did hit, it was Daniel Bryan, right? Once he did hit Daniel Bryan, he just also seemed like he was still conflicted, although he went back with them. So do you guys think they're telling a story with this, or is Garcia just a shitty actor?
No, they're telling a story, but he on Rampage delivered a promo where he said he's the best sports entertainer there is, and he's definitely back. That being said, they're telling a story. Eventually, there's going to be a turn. It's just how long. The AEW likes to sometimes go maybe too long with some of these turns, so it could be
maybe too long. Mm-hmm. He uses the maybe word. AEW likes to go too long.
I mean, but some of them do pay off, so it's not really too long because we were still satisfied by the ultimate result. It going too long implies that we were kind of fed up. We saw the result and we're like, hey, you waited too long. We don't really care anymore. So there is a difference. Mm-hmm. And I think I don't know, because obviously we saw on Rampage him saying he's a sports entertainer, cool story. But then on the Dynamite before, he seemed like he was reluctant to actually do it. So story being told, I guess, but it's just kind of like maybe he's conflicted as well and whatever. So, but we've already seen him do this. So this might already be at a point where it's like, if it's not in the next month, I'm fed up.
Okay, well, to break in really quickly, first, everyone check their posture. Make sure they're sitting straight.
Hold on, I'll come back on cam. Yep, I was already sitting up straight, but I better adjust my glasses.
Hydrate-ish.
Twice.
Oh.
Fuck. Ambrosia.
I love
this. This was Ambrosia. There we go.
So I do have a question for Smarts, who works in detective work all day. How would you like to be able to just sit around and play video games like the Canadian Mounted Police kids do?
Wow. Facts.
I would love to. Unfortunately, I've got a 4-year-old who gets in the way of me doing most of that stuff. So
Yeah, don't be jelly because I have no life.
That's legit right there.
Legit. Too legit to quit. Too legit to quit on a video game.
Too legit to quit.
Hey.
Was that MC Hammer or was that LL Cool J?
MC
That was
Hammer.
MC Hammer. Okay.
Yes.
I don't know why I was thinking that was LL Cool J.
Yes, it was on the Please Hammer, Do Not Hurt Them album.
When you politely ask someone not to hurt other people, please
Just don't do it. Please don't. Do not.
Please don't hurt them. But no, I mean they're definitely telling a story. I think it's just what the story could be leading up to that Ring of Honor world title that Jericho has around his waist, and the eventual relaunch of Ring of Honor as a television show.
Right.
Where, at the relaunch, then Daniel Garcia, not Danielson, betrays him to win the Ring of Honor world title and defend it. I think the first thing, though, I think it's not gonna be right away. They're gonna lean heavily into the sports entertainer being the
sports entertainers.
Yeah, being the champions of wrestling heavy Ring of Honor. I think that's a lot of people are angry about Chris Jericho being the Ring of Honor champion.
Oh, that's great heat, though. That's awesome.
Yeah, the heat level to make a person whose entire gimmick right now is that he's a sports entertainer. He's not a wrestler. He's a sports entertainer. And that sports entertainment is better than professional wrestling. That a sports entertainer will beat a wrestler any day of the week. And then make him the world champion of your sports entertainment heavy, of your wrestling heavy and thing. This is built-in heat, and it's absolutely brilliant if you ask me.
Right.
And the fact that everyone's angry about it is exactly the reason why. For all of the Ring of Honor bros out there who are all like, I can't believe they made Chris Jericho champion. That's exactly why.
Right.
So that you would go, I can't believe they made Chris Jericho champion.
Exactly. But that's what I think is going to happen. I see
that. I just don't know why they had to do the off again, on again. You know what I mean? When he originally had bounced from the team and Daniel Bryan came in the ring and whatever, just make him do his own little thing and just start that freaking feud. You're taking forever. We don't know anything about ROH if there's a TV deal. So all I'm saying is, unless we get a TV deal in the next month, we get this conclusion in the next month, I'm just not going to care.
I think it's the now. I understand where you're coming from with the not caring. This is what I was saying. They can be accused, AEW, of sometimes going too long on some of these things, right? But here's the deal. I think they expected to be closer to a deal, and so they pulled the trigger on Daniel Garcia turning on Chris Jericho earlier. Okay. And then I think they realized that the deal is a little farther off, so they waffled back so that they can pull the trigger on it again later. Reports I've heard state that Warner Brothers Discovery is really high on the idea of Ring of Honor, but they want to continue to do Ring of Honor pay-per-views for a little bit longer before they do any sort of television deal. So we're going to have at least one more Ring of Honor pay-per-view first.
But isn't that on pay-per-view, not on Discovery or Warner Brothers?
It's still through Bleacher Report, which is a Warner Brothers Discovery property.
Oh, snap. Okay.
At least in America, it's Bleacher Report.
That's fair.
other places get to do fights sometimes or whatever, but in America it's Bleacher Report, which is
save us $5 here.
So, speaking of reports have it that as part of the pitch to Warner Brothers Discovery, there's a pitch for a 1 or 2 hour long Ring of Honor show a week and potentially a all women's show for AEW. And we've talked before about this as an idea, and I've said before that I'm not a fan of it. And I'm going to reiterate that I'm not a fan of the idea of an all-women's show. Because I think it's one of those things, once you have an all-women's show, it's really easy to start deprioritizing the women on the regular shows. You know,
right.
when you're like, oh, I've got 5 matches I want to put on. One of them's a women's match. Well, they've got a whole show that they can put that match on. So instead of putting it on Dynamite, I'll put it on the exclusively women's show.
I like the idea of an all women's pay-per-view.
Mm-hmm.
I loved it under WWE.
I'm fine with the idea of doing an all women's episode of Dynamite every once in a while. What I don't like is an exclusive weekly reoccurring show that's just women's wrestling, and I don't like it because I worry that it just leads to deprioritizing women's wrestling on the main shows.
Yeah, I would like maybe them doing it once a month, maybe, because I do feel there needs to be more direction still for the women's division. You know, we're still not necessarily involved with all the women there, or, you know, it's just, I don't know. There needs to be something. Toni Storm is doing a great job, a fantastic job with Saraya there in now too, but there's
the problem is, you know, the biggest problem with the women's division is lack of exposure. Yeah, they've got matches on Dark and Dark Elevation every week.
But that don't count.
But those don't really count because 90% of people don't watch them, and they really don't even count for storylines. And we've said before, with Dark and Dark Elevation, if they really wanted people to watch those religiously, they would have to start making them part of the storyline, right? Have stuff happen on Dark Elevation or Dark that actively affects the active storylines. So people have a reason to watch Dark or Dark Elevation. As of right now, they don't. And so, but they have women's matches on there. And then they have 1 or 2 a week on the main shows. To specifically talk this week, because I gotta find this week's. I thought I'd opened it up and I had not.
Oh no, not you have not. Oh no, not you have not.
Well,
did you just make this a Rihanna song? Is that what you just did?
Yeah, I did that.
Okay. We'll do this one. So we had we had 1 women's match on Dynamite. And
1 on Rampage.
I believe 1 on Rampage, but I gotta.
Lady's getting no love from Tony.
And
I'm gonna run.
yeah, 1 on Rampage. So yes,
right.
2 total matches. Now that being said, we had 1, 2, 3 men's matches on Rampage, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 men's matches on Dynamite. So we have a 2 to 8 ratio, right? 1 out of every, or 1 to 4. 1 out of every 5 matches has been women's. That's where the problem is, right? I'm not saying they need to be 50-50 right away, because you've got more men's titles. You just have more men just in general. But it needs to be better than 20%, you know? It needs to be 2 to 1 at best. You know what I mean? And that's the problem. And I just worry if they do a women's TV show that eventually, yeah, they'll get the ratio up, but it's just like AEW Dark and Elevation. They start fucking off those matches to the women's show, and if nobody watches the women's show, it doesn't matter. Women's wrestling goes down. We're in the same boat. Exactly. So a women's pay-per-view, good. Women's episodes of Dynamite or Rampage, exclusively women, good. Women's exclusive show, no bueno.
Yep. I'd agree with that.
So,
I believe we are in agreement on that one. Yeah, Tony just has to get more creative with his booking for women, and yeah.
I don't even think it's more creative. I just think he needs to do it more. The simple fact is, let's look at I'm on Dynamite right now. Let's look at Dynamite. You had Jungle Boy Jack Perry versus Luchasaurus. Okay, that match is part of a storyline.
I was going to talk to that one. That was a fire match.
Yeah,
that was a fun match.
Really needed to happen. Warjo versus The Factory.
Loved it.
It was a good match.
Didn't need to happen, but it was a good match.
I don't know if it really needed to happen. I mean, yeah, it eventually told the story with the embassy coming out, and they're obviously trying to build the embassy up, and then FTR and Sean Spears making his return.
I deeply enjoyed the interview with MJF that when Stokely Hathaway interrupted him.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Deeply enjoyed that.
There's a really interesting story that they're telling there with.
Guess he's no longer going to have a stable on retainer soon.
Yeah, well, MJF being almost face-ish, but not, but kind of. Anyways.
But not.
Swerve Strickland versus Daddy Ass. I mean, yeah, that's selling the storyline of Swerve and Our Glory trying to get back their titles eventually, but I don't know if this really had to happen. And
I mean, aside from the fact that Billy Gunn looked freaking awesome,
well, and the crowd chanted, "Scissor me,
Daddy."
Scissor me.
Well,
I think it was Scissor me,
also,
Daddy.
the fact that
that's what it was.
Swerve won with heel tactics. He held the ropes to win.
Yes.
That's at least a storyline they're telling there. And then, of course, also the storyline with Smart Mark Sterling and Tony Nese coming out and saying they bought the trademark for
Scissor Me.
Scissor Me.
That was fantastic.
And the scissor gesture, so you can't use those anymore. But did the match really have to happen? I don't know. That could have been a women's match there. We had Chris Jericho versus Bryan Danielson. This match needed to happen as part of the story with the Daniel Garcia thing, so that's fine. But so we've already found at least one match that they could have replaced with a women's match. AEW Women's Champion Toni Storm, interim champion, I should say, and Hikaru Shida versus Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter. That's their one women's match, right?
Right.
And then the All Atlantic Championship match, the Bastard Pac versus Orange Cassidy. I think that one needed to happen. They finally were able to pull the trigger on Orange Cassidy in a championship match. So, but there, we could have had two matches and still told the exact same storylines.
Sure.
And had two women's matches there. We go to Rampage. Yeah, John Moxley and Claudio Castagnoli versus The Butcher and Blade to open the show. I mean, yeah, you want to have John Moxley on, you want to showcase Claudio Castagnoli, but this match didn't like do anything
No.
really. I mean, it was a good match. It was fine, but whatever, right? You had the long segment with the Jericho Appreciation Society. You had Nyla Rose versus Anna JAS, I should say. So there's your women's match. But it was a fairly short match. And it was really just to set up the Jade Cargill storyline even more. And he had All Ego Ethan Page versus Isaiah Cassidy in a really short match.
Yeah, that just didn't even need to happen.
And then
I get it. You want Ethan Page to get it, but I don't know, man. I'm just sick and tired of these squash matches. I feel like they do more harm than good now, just because they're done so frequently.
Squash matches always happen. They always have, and they always will.
I'm just not a fan.
The plus to a squash match is what you got February 24th, which actually Hurricane talked about it on a podcast this weekend. If you have squash matches, then you can get Hurricane beating Rock.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the deal. So, you have to have squash matches, so eventually, like in this case, it was Isaiah Cassidy versus Ethan Page. Right. You have Ethan Page squash Isaiah Cassidy. The rule was if Ethan Page won, Matt Hardy has to join the firm. And Private Party is part of the firm because their contracts are being held. If Isaiah Cassidy won, the Private Party's contract would be eliminated and they'd be free to go, right?
Still kind of didn't give a shit, though. Did you really care about that?
Well, but the story they're going to tell now is Private Party and Matt Hardy being abused as part of the firm, being used, and then eventually fighting for their freedom. And you have a squash match so that later you can have Isaiah Cassidy get his vengeance by beating Ethan Page. So you do both things. You establish Ethan Page now, and then you establish Isaiah Cassidy later with it. But this match didn't really need to happen. They could have told the story in a different way, or at least in a different time. They could have had another women's match there. So, and then you had the trios match, which was FTR and Shawn Spears versus the Embassy, which is Brian Cage, Khan, and Toa Leona. I really like Khan's look. Really like his look. And so I'm happy to see them giving him a little bit more time in the ring here and there. Sure. I think he's going to be a figurehead in the reestablished Ring of Honor. He apparently was in Ring of Honor recently before the sale. So I think they're trying to reestablish him to make him a big part of the Ring of Honor. In fact, I think the Embassy as a whole is going to be a showcase in Ring of Honor once it gets relaunched. That's my thoughts on it. My speculation.
Yeah, they'll definitely be like the main stable kind of thing, which is what they were. Like that was originally created in Ring of Honor, and I think that was the main stable to begin with. No,
the Embassy as it exists now did not exist in Ring of Honor. Prince Nana was in Ring of Honor, and Khan was in Ring of Honor, but they brought them in after Tony bought Ring of Honor. They put them together into a thing. Now there was the Kingdom, and that's what happened after the match. That was Mike Bennett, Matt Taven, and Maria Kanellis came out and challenged FTR, and so that's going to be the thing there. And those are Ring of Honor staples. It does bring up an interesting thing that I was going to talk about at some point. Might as well talk about it now. Do you know who one of the leaders of the Kingdom in Ring of Honor was?
Kingdom. Is that Swerve? Is that right?
No.
No.
The Kingdom, the founding leader of the Kingdom was an Adam Cole, baby.
Oh, snap.
Which brings up an interesting thing. Adam Cole, right now, he's out reportedly with a fairly substantial concussion. And so, concussions are one of those things where there's no predicting when you come back. It's when you clear the protocol, you're back, And so every week they check him, and does he clear the protocol? Nope. Okay, then he's out. Oh, does he? Okay, he's back. But he no longer has the entirety of his faction with him anymore.
Right.
He's got Kyle O'Reilly, and that's it. Right? So this opens the door for him to potentially form the Kingdom again, or at least rejoin the Kingdom. There's another person who was in the Kingdom that is involved in AEW that's really interesting, that also could play into this storyline, which also makes it a little more interesting based on the placement of this match being right after the other one. Matt Hardy was in the Kingdom in Ring of Honor.
I mean, at least Matt would be doing something, because Jesus Christ.
Mm-hmm. So this could be something that plays into that other storyline where Matt Hardy gets rescued from the Kingdom, or from the firm,
Right.
by the other members of the Kingdom, and is able to rejoin the Kingdom. So there's some interesting storylines they could tell based on that, but it was interesting to see them show up. I think Matt Taven can be great, and he's a former Ring of Honor World Champion, so having him involved in AEW again, or not again, for the first time, and potentially in Ring of Honor again, could be big. I think Mike Bennett is a phenomenal talent who is better when his wife is not around him, but unfortunately, she's there.
I think he would disagree with that statement. Although it didn't work out in WWE, obviously, but
I think we can point out multiple times that he was partnered with his wife in wrestling, and it didn't work out. And we can then point to times when his career went really, really well, and they were almost all without his wife. Now, I'm not saying he shouldn't be with his wife. I'm just saying that they can.
Well,
be
you are
separate
in storyline.
in the storyline.
Right.
They can be like here's the deal. There's lots of married people in wrestling who are not part of storylines with each other.
Right.
Becky and Seth come to mind right away.
Right.
Andrade and Charlotte have never been in storylines together, despite the fact that they've been together for a long time. And yes, they're in different companies right now, for the time being.
For now.
I mean, Andrade did post a Twitter pic 9 days into his suspension. He's just relaxing on a beach, or with a vacational view of a beach.
Mm-hmm.
So he's chilling.
Yeah.
I don't know what you think. Tony Khan's not going to give in. Like, bro, listen. At the end of the day, you ain't going to WWE, okay? Like,
he thought if he punched the golden child, Sammy Guevara, he'd get fired for it, and then he could sit out his 90-day and then go. I don't even know if there's 90 days for. I assume there's 90-day no competes for AEW,
Right.
just because that's fairly standard, but I don't know for certain. So, but Tony Khan specifically warned him earlier said, listen, don't start any trouble. Just move past it. But I'm not going to fire you. And he still's like, we'll find out.
We'll find out.
Yeah, we're gonna
That's
F
funny.
around and find out.
I think this is a perfect example of a time when someone should get the Lanny Poffo treatment, because here's the thing. Like, yeah, normally I'm a believer in, if you truly are unhappy with a company, ask for your release, and the company, if they're good, they should let you go, and all that stuff. I'm normally of that, except if you stoop to this sort of shit. You know what I mean?
Right.
First of all, he was brought in and he's been treated, in my opinion, very well by AEW. They've
Right.
let him wrestle wherever he wanted. They had him come in. They give him this really great entrance. And then, yes, his character hasn't been taking off. And I get it. That's frustrating. But I think that's more on him than on Tony Khan. I think his character that he's trying to do is a character that nobody cares for.
Which
But I
might be
enjoy-
off Tony Khan's booking, though. Hey, you're going to be doing this. Do it how you like it, but this is what I want from you. You know
That's
what I mean?
fine.
Maybe Andrade doesn't want to do that.
Again, there's ways around that. Part of it is talking to management, right? It's been shown that Tony Khan's door is open when people want to discuss.
I don't know. We should probably talk to, what's his face, the octopus dude. He was pretty pissed at Tony Khan. No communication there.
He was pissed with Tony Khan because he wasn't communicating with Tony Khan. And that's part of the thing that changed is Tony Khan instituted better policies for communication after that. But I think, and I'm going to say this as a Gresham fan, I think Gresham was being a little bit of a baby, and a little bit of an ego, and frankly, was just angry that he was going to lose the Ring of Honor title. That's it. I think that's all it came down to.
Well,
'Cause
I mean,
he threw this big fit and said, I think I might be done with wrestling and everything. He hasn't missed a beat. He's continued to wrestle.
yeah, I mean, here's the deal, man. You get a contract, do your job.
Exactly.
Find
And-
out where they're going with stuff.
Yeah.
Now, was he working it? And that's something we don't know. We don't know if that was a work or not.
Mm-hmm.
I'm mad, and that helps the fans be more mad. And
Mm-hmm. And so, so this is the time where if this is legitimately Andrade saying I'm unhappy with the company, I don't think he did it the right way, and I think this is where Tony Khan pays him to sit at home on vacation, and says, "Listen, here's the deal. WWE let you go. WWE treated you like crap, and now just because a new guy's in charge, you think you'll get treated a whole lot better over there, and you might. That's fine." But we cannot set the precedent of jump from one
You know
company
what?
to another.
I just want to go on record. The hammerlock DDT is not a good finisher.
It's not a great finisher. Most hammerlock whatevers are not good finishers. Right. Fucking I can't think of almost any move that is improved by being a hammerlock version.
The pump underhook power bomb. It's not really that great, guy. You know?
Yeah, it's just like, I don't know. I do like the double underhook suplex where they go up and then they spin around and slam you down. I like that, and nobody does that now. But other than that, it's like, oh, pump handle.
Pump handle stuff, all that. That's, meh. Okay. I suppose.
No, it's like, so. But that's the deal. I mean, in the end, I think Andrade thinks he's a bigger star than I think he really is.
I
And
mean, I would agree with that. Yep.
and in this case, right now it's really easy to be patting Triple H on the back because he has done a really good job since he came back. But here's what it comes down to: WWE is still WWE, right?
Right.
There's only a certain amount of room in WWE for the smaller luchador style wrestlers. Is Andrade head and shoulders above Santos Escobar?
No.
A wrestler with a very similar build, a very similar wrestling style, actually a very similar character.
Right.
Like, is he head and shoulders above? No. You could argue he's better. I don't know if I'd side with you on that argument, but you could make an argument for it. But in the end, they've already got Andrade there in Santos Escobar, right?
Right.
Who's reportedly, well, not even reportedly, is now on the main roster, right? So, if they bring Andrade, if say Tony lets him go and he goes back to WWE, he's going to be their new toy for a few weeks, and then it's going to be same old, same old. They're going to pair him up with Angel and Hector,
Oh my god.
Humberto Carrillo. You know,
I would be terrified of that.
it's. I mean, for fuck's sake, I was so excited when Johnny Gargano came back, and as of right now, I still don't know what they're doing with his character. Like,
Right.
he's back, he's wrestling. What's he doing? I don't know. His wife is back in wrestling, and maybe in the title picture.
I can't even tell whether or not she's a heel or a face.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Facts.
I have no idea whether he's a heel or a face right now. I mean, he came out to a big face pop. He started his program against Austin Theory, which puts him in the face style. But then they teamed him up with Kevin Owens, which that's more heel style. I don't know.
Yeah, they're like testing the waters, I guess. I don't know.
And that's ultimately the thing. Is in the end, like, WWE is doing great. Triple H is doing a lot better than Vince McMahon. I'm not trying to minimize how much better WWE is under Triple H. Night and day better. But in the end, they still only have 5 hours of main roster TV a week. And they've already got a big roster. Right?
Well, and I mean, what do you want booked differently? You know, that's where the Andrade thing is like, well, what do you want booked differently?
Yeah.
I just think he maybe wants to be with Charlotte or whatever. You know, like I know she's not.
That could be.
thing.
Then you
know.
shouldn't have signed a contract,
Yeah.
man.
Then when that company let you go,
You run
And-
the Indies for a while
you run the indies.
because you know the guy who let you go is 87 years old or however old Vince is.
Or
77.
here's another side of the coin here. Right? Say you do sign a contract. Sign a contract for a 1-year deal. AEW specifically has tiered deals. We know the AEW tiered deal system, right? They have per appearance deals, they have short-term deals, they have longer-term deals, right? He reportedly...
Whatever contract you sign, though, fucking stick it out, man.
Yeah, he reportedly signed a 5-year tier deal. That's on
Yeah,
him
that's wild.
for negotiating a big system. Cody Rhodes talked about the tier system. They've got tier 0 which allows, which is basically a first option to sign. It's a per appearance deal. You get a bonus. You get some extra things and stuff like that. And then an exclusivity to us in terms of we get first option to sign you. So here we're putting some money into you. We can't guarantee that we're giving you a full contract, but if someone else offers you a contract, we get first dibs, right? They guarantee you X amount of dates, and they go on from there. And then they've got a tier 1, and a tier 2, and a tier 3, and a tier 4, and then a tier Jericho, he calls it, which is the basically lifetime tier. But so
Where did he say this?
This was in an interview. This was back in November of 2020. He talked about the tier systems.
Oh, wow. That sounds like a very interesting interview.
It was on AEW Unrestricted.
Oh, snap. All
So
right.
first episode of season 2, I believe.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
So he did the tier deal, and he chose to negotiate a higher tier. Right? So I'm going to use leases for apartments as an example, right? You're living in an apartment complex, and your lease is up, and you get let go of your apartment complex. They say, we're not going to renew your lease. We need you to go. And you go find, and you really loved that apartment complex. You really loved it, but you're out, right? So you go find another apartment complex. And you're like, well, I want to have a chance to go back to that first apartment complex if I get a chance to. Right? You don't sign a 3-year lease on the new apartment complex.
Right.
You sign a 1-year lease or a 6-month lease, right?
Facts.
Or heck, you do month to month. Right? He chose to sign a long-term deal with AEW. And part of a long-term deal with any wrestling company is understanding that there will be ups and downs. You will be booked really well at times, and then you will be booked at times in ways that you don't like. Again, wrestling is all about being a team player to put over the company, right?
Facts.
So he didn't get booked as well as he liked. And then the other apartment complex opened up and said, hey, we've got an apartment that you can move into if you want to. And now he wants out of his lease. I wouldn't let him out.
Nah. Fuck that, Jazz.
I'd make him sit out the rest of his lease. Or at least long enough that he's no longer as attractive to WWE, right? Like, make him sit at home for 6 months. And then say, listen, we paid you for 6 months. Do you still want out? Because now you're not going to be the hot star coming over to WWE who just appeared recently on AEW. You're going to be the person that people have forgot about. And in wrestling, people go by the wayside real fast. Or, here's the other side of the deal, Andrade. You can continue to work for us. We'll work with you on trying to make your character better. And we'll improve your overall standing in the end. And then when your contract's up, you can go wherever the fuck you want. Or maybe you'll decide you want to stay here because maybe you'll see that in the long run, we put money into you when they didn't want to put money into you anymore. All right. Let's do another couple packs before we start talking about 4 packs.
Something.
Pick 2.
In loving memory of the fact that Ambrosia is not paying attention, 21.
There you go. 2-1.
Pack number 2 first. Bruno Sammartino.
Hey, your Zoom works great there.
Yeah. Look at that chest hair.
Gotta love the chest hair. He ate a lot of fried green tomatoes as a kid.
One. Rebecca
That's supposed to give you
Lynch.
chest hair? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. That's what my dad told me when I was a kid. Sorry.
Oh, fair
Lynch
enough.
Still to this day, hate tomatoes.
in the middle of a leg drop.
I feel like you have a crazy chest hair, though.
I don't, but thanks.
Oh. Fair enough.
I already know
I would have
have
known this already in the bra and panties match, but no.
a Jey Uso only if he lost.
Yeah. Don't assume, bud. Not to mention, I may very well trim up for that.
Fair enough.
And my chase card is a hollow version
Of Happy.
of Happy Corbin.
Hey.
Boy, has he been.
He's been missing.
JBL
Since,
just kidnapped him.
he's been missing since he lost that.
Yeah,
last
it's
match.
true. JBL did kidnap him, no?
Yeah.
Get it.
Was it actually? Did we see JBL? I thought it was just a limo.
Well, but it was his limo.
It was the Horns limo.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Which implies JBL, but does not specifically state JBL. That's all.
Mr. Semantics over here.
I think this is a pack full of duplicates, but Mick Foley, because I'm
Mick.
certain I had that one. I know I had Jordan Devlin.
JD.
Let's not zoom in there. This one I think is new. Shelton Benjamin. And I know
Ain't no stopping me.
No.
Nah.
I know I had a regular version, so now I have the chase version of Odyssey
Jeez, man.
Jones.
Nobody cares about Odyssey Jones.
Yeah. He's not high on my list either. Okay, anyways, let's talk about the specifics of what all happened on the different shows. So Bloodline had their conversation backstage on Raw, and this is where they started to put this whole Jey Uso versus Sami Zayn thing going on. That's gonna build the tension between them.
Right.
Yeah, Johnny Gargano versus Austin Theory again, which is back to face, I guess. Apparently there's speculation that, or there's at least reports that backstage it's been talked about doing a match for possession of the Money in the Bank briefcase. Winner gets the briefcase. Which I would like to go on this record right now and say I am against them doing that match. I would rather have him lose in a cash-in than have him lose the briefcase to someone else. I think that...
I mean,
muddies
as
the
long as you
briefcase.
were saying that same thing when Otis won it. That's all I'm saying.
I wanted Otis to
Yeah,
cash it in. I wanted him to catch it in and win. I didn't like the Otis storyline just in general because it was, from day one mired in, hey, let's have the fat guy win it. Right. It'll be funny if the fat guy wins it. And then they had him win it, and then they're like, oh fuck, what do we do with it? I did not like the idea of the Miz winning it in court from him. I would have preferred if they were going to do it that they do it in the match, so this is at least a step in the right direction to have a match versus a weird ass court case for it. But
Right.
I think it minimizes the Money in the Bank briefcase when you make it be this kind of like, I don't know, just because you won the match doesn't mean you get it. You know what I mean?
Right.
I didn't like when James Ellsworth won it for the women, right?
No, that
And then
was
handed
stupid.
it to. I don't like. I think if you're gonna build it up as this big thing that gets you a guaranteed future shot, then it needs to be the guaranteed future shot, and not conditioned on other things. Unless you make that condition on other things part of the rules from day one, right? Like the New Japan that we've talked about, where you have to defend it one time before the match happens. You know what I mean? But anyway, Chad Gable versus Rey Mysterio. Nah.
Well, I mean,
okay
it was
match.
it was an okay match. I mean, two guys who can really go at it. You know what I mean? Well, Chad Gable is always entertaining in my eyes, so. But that was
really,
obviously just to tell.
Yeah, it was really just to do the whole Rey Mysterio Dominic Mysterio storyline at the end, which they could have done without.
Dominic just does not sell. Hit me, Dad.
I'm at least hopeful that we're gonna have a reprieve from that for a short period of time. We'll get to that
Ray
when we
went
talk
to
about SmackDown. But we had Bailey versus Candice LeRae. So this is Candice is a face, I guess. You had the promo with the Judgment Day calling out AJ Styles saying join us, and it looked like he was going to join, and then nope, it was the OC. The OC is back.
I deeply enjoyed that.
It was fun. Like I said on Tuesday, it's fun because, you know, Carl Anderson is still the New Japan open weight champion. He's got to go over and lose that, but anyways. Yeah, Mrs. birthday thing and shades of Vince McMahon with the birthday thing, but whatever. It's always going to be WWE. They're still going to have that stuff. I do think there was a more than one potential wardrobe malfunctions for Maurice during it, though. So.
Damn, I missed that.
Get your DVR out.
Yeah, fair enough.
And then they botched.
Also, just go look up Maurice's.
I mean, yeah, she was in Playboy.
Yeah, that's fair.
So.
That's fair.
When she was younger.
Fair point.
They did mess up the ending to this, though. Maurice was supposed to go face first into the cake, and she missed. But whatever.
Yeah. I always think she's trying to see them get enough cake on her to make it matter.
But anyways, Dexter Loomis, of course, showed up and all that stuff. So Omos.
I need some Indy with him.
Yeah, they just need to. They need to put Indy back. Just pull her up to the. I think they probably just decided that Indy wasn't quite ready for main roster, because they teased it being like on NXT. She got a letter from Dex,
and she also got kidnapped by him, or was about to. You know, like
yeah. And
until
so
the cops came.
Anyways, they're obviously building towards Omos versus Braun here. Bobby Lashley versus Seth Rollins. This was after, of course, Brock Lesnar came out and destroyed Bobby Lashley a few times.
You call yourself a soldier?
What was it, like 2 F5s and a couple suplexes.
Yeah, and I think Kimura, no, or whatever the hell he calls that move.
Yeah, the
Did something
Kimura
to his.
Kimura.
And then Seth Rollins, who was supposed to have the match, taunted him into continuing to do the match, and then won. So Seth Rollins is now a double Grand Slam champion.
Like a boss, as he should be.
And then Matt Riddle versus Sami Zayn really was just to set up more of the whole, is Jay gonna help Sammy? Is Sammy and Jay gonna fight? You know, what's gonna happen there? So
Right. You gotta tell you, best storyline going, though.
The last 10 minutes of Raw was just like 10 minutes of DX masturbating in the ring.
Yeah.
I really thought they opened the DX stuff really well, too. Penis. Yeah. Can we say penis?
What about those 4 cocks over there?
Yeah, they opened it up really well. Towards the end, it just seemed silly and stupid, though. It was kind of like, okay, guys. Kudos for them mentioning Billy Gunn, though. That was dope.
Yeah, sort of mentioning him.
Well, apparently they tried to get him, but Tony Khan wouldn't play ball. So
no. Well, apparently the reports I read, they never actually reached out to Tony Khan. They never did. That Tony has gone on record saying, I probably would have done it if they would have asked me, but that they never had reached out specifically. So.
Oh, okay. So, who said that they tried then? Road Dogg? Was it Road Dogg that mentioned said that they tried?
In the DX thing, they just said he wasn't available. He's working for some other company.
No. But didn't Road Dogg put something out on Twitter or some interview saying that they tried to reach out to Billy Gunn? Either way. But Tony Khan did actually say that in an interview that they never.
I'm trying to find the thing here. I can't find the one that the last report I read. Billy Road Dogg did say that WWE did all they could do to make it happen.
Right.
But of course he's going to. He works for WWE. But the reports, because Tony Khan didn't care about Chris Jericho, Paul White, and Bryan Danielson making appearance on Raws a few months ago. Now that being said, there have been, Tony Khan has said that he thought things were cool between him and WWE, and then the contract tampering, and that might play into it. But I can't find the exact report I read. But the report that I'd read said that their sources said that no one ever actually contacted AEW about getting Billy Gunn.
Oh, snap. Okay.
Or at least not serious contacting,
Right.
But anyways. But the biggest thing is it was just like, it was 10 minutes of fucking, just like, oh, let's say all of our catchphrases and then, this isn't going to build anything. There's not going to be
anyone, like, I guess, if they were, I don't know, maybe 5 years younger or something, we would have had someone come out and say something stupid and they all would have done their finishers or whatever.
Yeah. But there's still at least one of them who's in shape enough to do most of their stuff. And that's X-Pac. I think Road Dogg probably could. I think HBK probably could do a Sweet Chin Music. The only one that really couldn't, for certain, would be Triple H. They even made jokes about it when he was doing his thing. He stopped to check his breath and make sure his heart was beating right.
Well, they all did that though. I gotta catch my breath.
But here's the deal: you remember Raw 25 a couple years ago?
Yeah, that's it.
Years ago, whatever.
I mean, like we've seen this already.
Yeah, they had Finn Balor come out and too sweet them. They used that time to try to put over some of the younger talent, right? The up and comers at the time. And for this, they're like, no, let's just do all of our catchphrases for 10 minutes and crotch chop and then go off the air. And it's like, I don't know, it seemed half-assed to me. Anyways.
Yeah.
But SmackDown, we had Kofi Kingston versus Sami Zayn, which was also still more of the is the Usos gonna help him or not? You know, how's that gonna go? Braun Strowman beat up on a couple jobbers. LA Knight officially back as LA Knight, and then beat up Mansoor.
Beat him up, or was it a match? It was a match, right?
It was a match, yeah, but he beat. It was a squash.
It was a squash. That's why I don't remember it. Okay, perfect.
Shotzi, Raquel Rodriguez, and Roxanne Perez versus Damage Control. This was Roxanne Perez's tryout on SmackDown. She also, in terms of storyline, at NXT, she was there to choose Cora Jade's opponent for their match next week.
Right.
And then Cora Jade will be on Raw tonight. Excuse me. You know, to choose Roxanne Perez's opponent.
Right.
Yeah. Hit Row versus Legado del Fantasma. Boy, how the mighty Hit Row have fallen now to job out Legado del Fantasma.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't say job. I would even say if Hit Row was freaking popping, they Phantasma still would have got the win anyways. I mean, they just came up. Zelina Vega came with them. Like, it's a whole thing. But yeah, no one gives a shit about Hit Row to the point where it's just like, why did you re-sign these guys? Swerve was the magic, I feel there. But yeah, like, I feel like just, if anything, just break them up if you still want to use them. Like, I feel like they'd be better alone than together. Especially Big Dollar or Top Dollar, whatever the hell his name is.
And then the main event, Fatal 4-Way, which was Ricochet versus Sheamus versus Solo Sikoa versus a new to SmackDown, Rey Mysterio. That's the storyline we hinted at earlier. Rey Mysterio came on saying, I'm not going to fight Dom. I'm not going to fight my son. I quit.
Right.
And Triple H, playing the part of general manager, said, no, come into my office. Let's talk about it. Let's see if there's something we can work out. And then later announced that he was going to be in this match and that he has now been traded to SmackDown. So Rey Mysterio now on SmackDown to get away from having to face his son in a match. Do I think that he is actually away from having to face his son in a match? No. I think what will eventually happen is they'll have a draft. Dom will come to SmackDown, and then it'll be all back to square one again. But for now, at least. And the winner of the match, the new number one contender.
Serious apologies, gentlemen. I had to step away. I had to pee.
Rey Mysterio. Actually, he's the number one contender for the Intercontinental belt, by the way. I have to say.
Yeah.
Intercontinental.
So Ray's gonna get powerbombed out of his mask.
Yeah, that's gonna be entertaining. That's on next week's SmackDown.
I don't know if they've announced.
Okay.
I don't know if they've announced the time for it. They might put it on a pay-per-view.
Crown Jewel.
And then you had the Bray Wyatt promo that we showed earlier and might get a copyright strike for.
Hey. Only time shall tell. Only time shall tell.
We talked a little bit about AEW, but we'll go through exactly what all happened because I mentioned the matches. We'll talk more about the stuff that happened in between. Big thing, Renee Paquette, now officially All Elite. Was announced this week.
All Elite.
I think that's really interesting. The timing of it implies...
part of Moxley's contract.
Yeah, that well, and maybe it wasn't part of Moxley's contract, but Moxley's contract brought it about. That now that he had settled on one company, she felt like she could settle on a company. You know what I mean? But so she's now going to be one of their main backstage interviewers. Interesting that they didn't put her on commentary directly.
Yeah, they have too many people going at commentary, though.
Well, they do, but I think she could be a nice change of pace on it. But I do like her as the backstage interviewer as well. I just was I really thought that was the role that they would settle Jim Ross into. To get him off play-by-play, get him into... more of a backstage interview, a Mean Gene Okerlund. But I guess Mean Renee Paquette is fine too.
Mean Renee Paquette.
Yeah.
You know something, Mean Renee?
You did have that interview we mentioned with MJF where Stokely Hathaway interfered and MJF was not having it.
That was just fun. That was all. That's all I can say is it was fun.
It was fun. And like I say, it played with our expectations because he was almost a face at times in that. But he still wasn't. He was still MJF.
And just so you know what? I have to be this way. You don't wake up every day in the morning and look yourself in the mirror and punch it and blah, blah, blah. I have to. I don't want to be. I have to be this way or whatever the hell he said.
That sounds expensive. That's the first thing I thought is punching your mirror is expensive.
I mean, maybe get those cheap little mirrors at dollar store. It's a little small little mirror,
That's $365 mirrors a year. That's true.
Did we just invent an economic $365 mirrors?
Yes. Dollar mirrors. What was the next thing that was the big? The big one on it was the John Moxley versus Hangman Page interview or promo. This was potentially the best Hangman Page promo yet.
Ever.
It was so well done in most of the things. Some of the lines from it, I just absolutely loved. Let me see if I can find one of them. Here.
He was just much more expressive and so much more emotional, and it was awesome. It worked perfectly for him.
My favorite thing is he says, Moxley said, "That's exactly what I think about you. I don't think you're the same guy who knocked me off a 20-foot ladder a year ago. Next week, you've got a chance to take a shot at me. I don't think you've got the guts to pull the trigger." Page said, "I hesitated and it cost me the champion. For all that I did, I'm left with nothing. So no, I'm not the same. I'm angry. I'm frustrated. I'm anxious. I'm depressed. The medicine's not working, but I am still here because I am a man. I do what I have to in Cincinnati. I don't care if your family's in the crowd. I will beat you within an inch of your life and take back this title."
Bam.
But that line there where he says, I'm angry, I'm frustrated, I'm anxious, I'm depressed. The medicine's not working, but I am still here. Is like, I was like, am I Hangman Page?
Jesus Christ.
I'm anxious. I'm angry. I'm frustrated. I'm depressed, and the medicine is not working for me either.
Well, because he was talking like an everyday man, right? And that's kind of what works for Mox too. So he, in reality, just took like a Mox promo and fucking made it work. Just like Mox would, technically. But, yeah, his best promos he's ever done.
And then, speaking of potentially best programs someone's ever done, I am absolutely loving the Nyla Rose stolen TBS championship gimmick.
Yeah, I think that's different.
I love just the idea of her running around with the stolen belt, defending it like the champion.
I didn't get that whole security guard thing, though. Like, that to me just didn't make any sense. They knock out all the security guards, but they let them pass. I was just like, how do you just let them pass? It felt like very botched to me, but it is what it is.
But, and then we mentioned earlier, but it's still important to talk about, Orange Cassidy is the new All-Atlantic champion for AEW. And they've already announced a match. I don't know when it's going to happen, whether it's this next week or not. But fucking Orange Cassidy versus Minoru Suzuki.
Oh, Jesus.
I don't know how that match is going to go. I imagine Orange Cassidy's chest is going to be redder than it normally is.
Well, and he's super white on top of that. Well, not super white. But, yeah, his chest is going to you're going to see it.
Mm-hmm.
You're definitely going to see it. You see it on a John Mox no matter what. You'll definitely see it on Orange Cassidy.
But I'm happy that they finally let one of the most over stars since day one in AEW get a champion. So,
get a little something. Yeah.
Yeah, a little something. And then they had orange confetti raining down, and I really wanted them to have a setup time where you saw people before the match loading both the orange and the, I don't know, black confetti for Pac. Purple confetti. I don't know. Color they would do. Because, it's just like, we conveniently had all this orange confetti loaded up.
Well, it's we all know it's predetermined. What do you want them to do?
Exactly what they did.
Yeah. Well, he was saying they wanted to see him with black confetti, like loading that part up too.
No, I thought it would be funny. It would be a funny bit
okay.
to have beforehand been like, it's like, for the Super Bowl, how they make shirts for both teams, right? Just in case. This would be a play on, we had to load up confetti for both people just in case.
Yeah, that
so
would
we
have been
could
kind of
celebrate
cool. You have two of the turnbuckles only go orange because the other two were filled with black confetti.
Yeah, or something. But.
Just to make it more like a sports thing.
On Rampage, you had an interview with Keith Lee and Swerve, where Keith Lee expressed disapproval for Swerve cheating to win on Billy Gunn. So there's going to be some heat going on in that relationship. That's interesting. 10 challenged Roosh for a match next week. So it looks like they're just slotting Roosh into the spot that Andrade was in 2 weeks ago.
Right.
Prior to punching Sammy Guevara. Which, here's the... I'm going to point out, Sammy Guevara's got a very punchable face, right? So sure. I don't blame him for wanting to punch Sammy Guevara. There's a difference between actually punching him.
Andrade's like, I did it, and Stu Grayson came in.
Yep, yeah, Stu Grayson back. Yeah. Because they were in Canada, so I do want to point out, based on every report that I've read and everything, Stu Grayson has not re-signed with the company. They were just in Canada, where Stu Grayson lives, and he showed up.
You're talking like it's not a big country, though. Like,
It
doesn't he
is.
live
It
in
is a
Montreal?
big country.
That's still
It
like
is.
quite
It
a
is
trip.
still a big country, but here's the deal: to American crowds, right? And I'll even say it this: Nebraska is a big state. But if you were born in Omaha and you're wrestling at an event in North Platte, you're still considered a hometown boy. You know.
Yeah.
There's a small town, small-ish town in Nebraska called Chadron, right? There's a kid from Chadron. I say kid. He's no longer a kid. Has not been a kid for a long time. Went off to an NFL career named Danny Woodhead. Everyone from Nebraska considers him
Local hero.
local hero. Chadron's as far from me right now, about as far from me right now as you can get and still be in the same state. Yeah.
It's almost as far as Chicago is from him.
Oh shit. Okay.
And from you, sir, what's Toronto? Is that 6 hours?
Yeah, 6 hours.
7 hours?
6-7
So
hours.
he's the same distance from Chadron as
Yeah.
you are from Toronto.
Yeah. 7 hours and 12 minutes to Chadron from Omaha. 7 hours. So,
And Chadron is where? That's still in Nebraska?
still in Nebraska, right?
We are the
Okay.
we're the fifth largest state, bud. Like, I know that because Montana's huge and Texas is huge and Alaska's huge, and whatever, California is huge, because all those four are huge. People don't think of Nebraska.
No.
We're next. We're literally
Next.
the next largest state.
Who's next to be the largest state? Nebraska. Oh.
Yeah. But that's the deal. It's like, yeah, it's a long distance. I'm not arguing that.
Right.
But he's still considered a hometown person.
It also isn't like he came from BC to Toronto.
Yeah.
Right. No, fair. That's a
Yeah,
fair
it's not
point.
like he
And
was
it's not like he drove either. He definitely took a flight.
Yeah, he
So
wasn't,
that's only like 45
he wasn't
minutes
up
an
in the
hour.
Yukon fucking
Right.
mining for gold and then decided, I'll show up in Toronto.
That's a fair point. Yeah.
He went from Montreal to Toronto.
You legit think he wasn't up mining for gold in
That would have been
Yukon?
hilarious. No one legit thinks that. I'm just saying, fair. It's not that far, especially when just taking a flight. Why not? They made a whole bunch of things all Canadian, Christian, Ethan Page fighting, everything. So I guess it makes sense. Sure.
Go for the hometown crowd, bud. Cheap pops, worthy pop.
That crowd was on fire, and I am proud of my Canadian brothers because Toronto definitely put it on the map.
Also,
I'm sure AEW.
note-
Because here's the deal.
Note that you don't hear us say, I'm proud of our American brothers when they're in Chicago.
Yeah.
Well,
Here's-
I mean,
here's the-
I'm only saying that because fucking AEW's, it was their first time here. So I would have also been
But here's
pissed.
the deal. Okay. Would
If
you
they
have
were
been really excited to have seen Bret Hart perform in Montreal at some point?
I mean, I saw him at Survivor Series technically get screwed.
Yeah.
So, yes,
Yeah. And you were excited, right? Even though he's from Calgary,
for sure. Yeah.
which is fucking far away.
Oh, it's
From
disgustingly
Montreal?
far. Yeah.
Yeah,
You know.
way farther than Toronto is.
He's Stu Grayson was still, that was just to pop the crowd. As far as I've heard, as far as I've read, he has not signed a contract. He is not back with AEW. We're not going to see him back with the Dark Order this week.
Okay.
That was just to pop the crowd because they could.
Fair.
We had Dalton Castle come out and challenge Jericho for the Ring of Honor World Championship. Dalton Castle, a former ROH World Champion, and currently the Ring of Honor Trios Champion with the boys. Important to note, though, from what I've read, Dalton Castle not signed to Ring of Honor. The boys signed to Ring of Honor.
Oh, that's interesting.
And from what I've read, it's not that Dalton Castle turned down a contract.
He just
that
wasn't offered
for
one.
some reason or other, he has not been offered one yet, which is interesting because he's fucking great. So,
maybe there's like a sexual allegation we don't know about or something, and they're scared to sign him to anything just yet. Or Discovery wouldn't be a happy camper if they signed him. I mean, that's really assuming a lot of shit. But what else would it be if it wasn't for like some sort of legal issue or something?
Yeah, I understand that, but if Discovery didn't want him on Ring of Honor, they also probably wouldn't want him on
Rampage. Fair.
On Rampage. So, and then fresh off his win of the All Atlantic Championship, the Orange Cassidy and the Best Friends challenged Death Triangle to a trios match this coming week for the Trios Championship. Which I feel like they recently already had one of those, so, you know.
Well, I mean, I'm down for Best Friends to win it, though. Fuck it. I mean, I love Pac, and kudos to Pac for doing double.
I thought Best Friends should have won it the first time, before even the Elite won it. I thought Best Friends should have been the winners of that tournament.
Right.
Anyways.
Oh, that's true. But that was the week prior, no? When did Pac do the double duty where he was the last match of the night? No, it was... And then he was the first match of Battle of the Belts. That was the week prior, no?
That was last week, yeah.
Okay, sorry.
No, the week prior to this, yes.
Yeah. Times they are flying.
Well, speaking of times, let's open these last 2 packs.
Let's do it.
Let's see
Do it.
see if we can get something good out of it.
Open it now, like you should.
This one, I believe, is a double, but it's okay. Because Ding Dong, hello.
Hey, Bailey.
Hey, Bailey.
Hey, Bailey.
I don't think I had this version of Drew McIntyre yet, so.
Nice.
Fucking fuckity fuck.
Fucking fuckity fuck.
Do you want to do a live on air burning of that?
I might. My luck, it'll release toxic fumes. But it's okay.
Well, if it
because I get this.
Ooh. That looks like a card that could end up sticky.
Jesus Christ.
The worst thing is, isn't that the second fucking Jerry Lawler I got too?
Yes, I believe you've had another one that you said you were going to destroy off air.
Anyways, I'll have to find it so I can destroy them both. Because fuck Jerry Lawler.
Yeesh.
Hate him.
So I take it you didn't watch the territory one between him and Andy Kaufman.
I told you I wasn't gonna. Got a Shotzi. Pre her getting her name back. Her last name back. We got Katana Chance.
Casey Catanzaro.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why you call her some weird fucking name.
What's the name that they have printed on here? I don't know. It must be a misprint. We've got Andy Hartwell.
Oh, I'm going to let you keep up on.
And then my final card there. My chase card. Zoe Stark.
Zoe, who you don't care for, but I think she's got a future.
Yeah, and she's in the Bronson Reed category again. She's like, I get it. I see that she's very talented. I see the skill that she has. She just, as a character, does nothing for me. And I mostly just get annoyed. But
I'm sorry, sir.
but like I said, I get it. I understand why people like her. Okay. That one. But I don't hate her. She just doesn't do anything for me.
I mean, hate is such a strong word.
I'm sorry, sir. She does things for me.
Like wash your clothes, or
Yeah, I mean, she's just a really nice person.
she's a really nice person, does things for you. Like I'm missing a chase card.
You're missing a chase card?
Yeah. Because I'm trying to separate them out.
So we got Raw on Monday and then Dynamite on Tuesday.
Yep, Dynamite Tuesday this week.
So remember, everyone, set your PVRs. It's just Tuesday night Dynamite. And for some reason, Vice isn't doing their Vince documentary.
What is a PVR?
Personal video recorder. It's the.
It's the same shit because DVR is digital video recorder, right? Right?
Yeah.
Right? I just guessed that right here, right now. Yeah. So SMM shows, it's the same thing.
Yeah. I think DVR was trademarked for a while, so someone started to talk PVRs.
Smart.
Smart Mark Sterling.
Well played. I see what you did there.
Anywho's. Fucking Jerry Lawler. Let me find that other Jerry Lawler.
You okay there, guy? I mean, you're gonna don't blow a gasket over Jerry Lawler.
I think he already has.
I hate Jerry Lawler.
Yeah, we heard you the first
And the second.
647 million times.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, you're gonna hear me more because I fucking hate Jerry Lawler. So now I've got to find the other Jerry Lawler.
You should do like a burning on TikTok or something.
Boy, I feel like that's actually already been part of the conversation.
Yeah, it's almost like someone said it like 20 minutes ago.
Oh, it's almost like someone wasn't paying attention. I apologize.
It's almost like we know that's happening with you.
Dick bag.
Fair point.
You're a bag of dicks.
A bag of dicks.
Bag of dicks. Who doesn't have a good quality bag of dicks?
What was that from? That was a show.
Why does everything have to be from something?
Because everything is from something. Bag of Dicks is definitely from something. Did you create Bag of Dicks?
Can't your co-host just be fucking entertaining?
I mean, they are, but they can't be original. Except Doobly Doos. I feel like that was original.
No,
that's a thing that wasn't.
That's the one thing in this conversation that wasn't original.
Damn it.
Fucking.
Fuck.
I said from day one, I stole that from the Vlog Brothers. Hank and John Green.
Oh.
They would say Link is in the doobly-doos.
Snap. Yes, it's true. Fact. You did say that. Fucking people mock me for fucking randomly sometimes saying it while I'm fucking streaming. Links are in the doobly-doos and be like, what the fuck's the doobly-doos? I'm like, you guys are just not hip enough. That's all it is.
They're not cool. That's fine. But, anywho.
Links are in the doodles.
So now I've got to find a good place to set up Macho Man. back there on my displays of.
Yeah, I guess you could have to get rid of one of your stings.
Nope, Macho Man will go. Thanks him. He's black and white, so I can put him next to the black and white Sting.
Oh, that's true.
He's not NWO Macho Man though. So he would fit next to Sting. His toes fucking bend. The fuck? That's creepy.
Why the fuck did the toes bend?
So you can pose him in certain poses, like with his feet, toes bent. I don't know.
You gonna make the Macho Man have his toes curled?
And he's gonna be like, yeah.
Oh, that's the spot. This is madness.
So here's the cursed thought. Do you suppose the Macho Man did that voice in bed?
Oh, I'm sure he did.
Yeah. I'm about to blow my load.
Yeah. Yeah. Miss Elizabeth.
Damn.
Macho Man's about to blow.
About to show you the maddest part of my madness. Ooh, yeah.
This cream's about to rise to the top.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I mean, I should have known
And
that was
then
coming, but
He'd
fuck.
do that face.
God.
Oh, shit. Now you know how the macho blows.
Jesus.
I'm going to point out he does have the action grip hand. So, you know.
Nice.
He doesn't need Miss Elizabeth here.
it to the top.
He doesn't need Miss Elizabeth here. He can...
Goddamn.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh, yeah.
You leave that action figure alone.
Snap into a Slim Jim.
Step away from the action figure. You leave it in its box. You should have never undid that tape.
His shirt's actually made of cloth, though.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, Klaus.
It's not painted on. That would have been lame as hell.
I should have done this as the face, he said.
Nice.
After.
Oh, man.
Anywho's. Let's, before we get too random and everything, let's go ahead and close.
I mean, I feel like we were already there before we get too random. I don't think...
Oh, we
That's
can
fair.
go more random.
Oh, we
Macho
definitely...
Man's ejaculations are not random.
Oh.
They're intentional.
They are premature.
Well, why would you know that?
I don't know. I'm just saying.
You know, I don't know that I would go there.
Yeah.
Well, we went there.
I mean, frankly, if we were going to talk about premature and ejaculation, we get back to Jerry the King Lawler.
Oh, facts.
Ooh, yeah, that was a good burn.
Fuck Jerry Lawler. This is a Jerry Lawler hate account. Anyways. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and close the book on the wrestling booking unit. If you managed to last this long, we appreciate it.
I'm sorry.
We would love for you to drop a subscribe, or even just to follow. If you don't need to subscribe, but we'd love for you to subscribe. You can just follow us on the Twitch, twitch.tv/RawAndOrderWBU. That's where the live streams happen twice a week, Sunday nights and Tuesday nights. They do still eventually get uploaded to YouTube and to the regular podcast listing. But if you want to be part of the live streams, you have to be a part of the Twitch.
Yes, sir.
And like I said before, if you have Amazon Prime, you can subscribe to us for free. You can watch us without subscribing. You just follow and watch. Subscribing just helps us out. And we'd appreciate that. But you can also check out our merch store. Merch link is in the bio. We've actually got two because we're in the process of doing some switching. The Stream Elements one is the new one where the new merch is going to go up, but we still have the old one up. But you can go there and you can support us through those. And you can follow us on all the social medias. You can follow me at Raw and Order WBU, just like it's got right down there. Right there. Raw and Order WBU. That's on pretty much any of the
Platforms.
social medias. Hello, Slimy Lampshade. Welcome to the stream. Right at the end.
Better late than never.
If you want to find me on Facebook, though, it's at Pissant Podcast because Facebook is weird. So there's that. The topic of every podcast that we do is professional wrestling. And unfortunately, you're right at the end of us talking professional wrestling for this episode. We will be back in 2 days for our fantasy booking show on Tuesday night. But you can follow D.A. Fabe at
DA Vincent Kayfabe on Twitter only. Everybody likes to talk. You need some legal advice. I'm probably not your guy, but legal advice in the world of professional wrestling. Maybe I can help out a little bit.
And then JLB is.
You can follow me at twitch.tv/JLBTLC25. And I saw Halloween Ends, and that review will be up hopefully tomorrow because, boy, was it a shitty ending. I will be talking about Halloween Ends and reviewing that. You'll see that up tomorrow. I might do it a live stream, actually, so feel free to come and join me for the movie review because everyone likes a shitty horror movie with a 40-year-old freaking Halloween Michael Myers story that ends really shitty. For more, tune in tomorrow, probably at twitch.tv/JLBTLC25, and we'll talk movies and reviews and all that jazz.
Speaking of movies and important ones this time of year, when does The Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown come out?
I don't know, but now it's only out on it's not out on cable anymore. It's on a streaming site. I think it's Universal's streaming platform. So you want to see it, you won't see it on any of your cable providers. It will only be on streaming. No. At least that's what it was last year.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah.
Anywho's. But on that note, we're going to go ahead and close the book on the Wrestling Booking Unit. Thank you all for listening. We will see you soon.
Deuces.